Yeah.
The second Sunday in February, and it's also a Super Bowl Sunday for those of us who are football fans.
Yes.
I'm Robert Brown, practitioner. Happy to welcome you all to Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living, where we understand and know and believe that there is a power greater than we are in the universe, and we can use it. So I'd like to invite you to just relax, put your feet firmly on the floor while I do an opening spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing that. Join me in consciousness, join me in knowing that there is only one power, one presence in this universe and in our lives. We call that one God, Spirit, creative consciousness, all kinds of names for it. But we are one with it each and every moment of our lives, because it resides within each of us as it resides within the universe as a whole. Today, the theme is love, and I give great thanks for all the love in my life. And when I say these words, I speak for each of you as well. I give great thanks for the love that you give to the world, that we all give to the world. Love, to me, is the driving force in the universe. Without love, there'd be nothing. So I give great thanks for the presence of love in each of our lives. I give great thanks for our expressions of love, our dedication to ourselves, to our partners, and to all the other people in our lives, and our dedication to our spiritual growth. So with great thanks, I release my words into the law, knowing that they are done as spoken. And together we say, and so it is.
Reveal the love inside of me. Reveal that love that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me. Reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal that peace that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me. Reveal the joy inside of me. Reveal the joy that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, joy is what I see. Every time I open up, peace is what I see. Every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me.
Thank you, Jennifer. And our musician for today is Jennifer Hart. So let's give her another round of applause. Pat Walker is not here. She's supposed to be the candle lighter. Would anybody like to light the candles? Corky?
Corky, yay!
You can start on either side.
Start over here.
Okay. So we light candles to remind ourselves of the underlying spirit of life and the divine unity of all. So first we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life now. So please affirm with me, I am life. We light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. We are points of love within the heart of God. Please affirm with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We are always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. Please affirm with me, I am light. We light a candle for beauty. We are made in the likeness and image of God. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. Please affirm with me, I am beauty. We light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in the God consciousness. We each bring joy to the world. So please affirm with me, I am joy. We light a candle for peace. Today and every day we open our hearts to peace. We are a center of peace in our world. Please affirm with me, I am peace. Finally, I invite you to take a moment to recognize your own inner light that is always shining within, as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Corky. So I have a few announcements today, as we always do on Sundays. We want to first welcome everyone and thank you for attending. And if you're visiting for the first time, make yourself home and join us for sort of love-related snacks afterwards. Stay for fellowship after the service. And please add your name and email to the guest book in our lobby if you would like to receive our weekly email telling you what's happening on the coming Sundays. And please help yourself to a welcome packet as well. I want to remind you that every Sunday we offer spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer as our gift to you. If you would like to have a person-to-person meeting with a minister or practitioner, get one of us to join you and we'll go off into a quiet corner and do a prayer for you. Today we have Reverend Maurene, Practitioner Larry, and Practitioner Robert, myself, and Reverend Dr. Maddie. You can also fill out a written request and put it in the box that's at the far table in the lobby, and our prayer team will pray for you for the entire week, and even continuing after that if necessary. Next, I'd like to give you a couple of examples, recent examples of how prayer works. and why we believe prayer works. One of our members of the congregation, Daryl Parker, about a week or so ago, had a double cardiac bypass surgery. He actually had some complications during the procedure, and he ended up being on a heart pump for a couple of days thereafter. And he is now home, and he sent us this email. Just a note to say thank you for the nice card. Those of you who were here last week probably signed that card, and everyone's support through this procedure. It was really great to know that you all took the time to write me a note and do affirmative prayers. I did get out of the hospital a day early since my progress post-surgery was faster than I anticipated. Thank you all so much. Hope to see you all again in a few weeks. Blessings to all. Sarah. The other example is my brother, Mike. He was admitted to the hospital up in Roseville back in mid-December. Had a serious infection which led to toxic shock syndrome. They gave him a 10% chance of surviving when he was admitted to the ICU. He's now in a rehab center in Placerville, and he's been having physical therapy every day. And on Friday, he actually walked, I think he said 49 steps on his own,
Wow.
which is pretty amazing. So he's getting stronger every day. I plan to go visit him again in a couple of weeks. Next week, February 16th, will be Potluck Sunday, so bring all your goodies to share with everyone. And we have a special speaker, Michael Paul, will be speaking about the wisdom of Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman. So don't miss it, and be sure to invite a friend to join you. Any additional announcements?
Class.
We are having the third session of our class after this, after we have fellowship and snacks and heart candy and all that stuff. So even if you haven't been at the first two classes, you're welcome to join this one. Now, we are a volunteer community. We rely heavily on our volunteers every Sunday. And so let's show some appreciation for some of today's behind-the-scenes volunteers, and some of them not so behind the scenes. For the beautiful flowers today, we have Morgan to thank. Our greeter today was Linda. The treats we owe to Reverend Maurene. Our video recording, as usual, is Jim Massapist. And our setup, once again, was by Dave DeVivier, Reverend Kate's son. And although she's not here, we're still going to thank Jan Sherburne for all she does keeping things running financially behind the scenes, and also for operating the bookstore every Sunday, which is not in operation this Sunday because she's not here to do it. And finally, we need volunteers every Sunday, so the sign-up sheet is on the near table out there. So sign up for whatever you'd like to do next Sunday or the Sunday after that. Now, if you look inside your program, we will now, let's see, did I miss? No. Did I miss a song?
No, it's group song.
The group reading. So let's read this together. God is all, visible and invisible, one presence, one mind, one power with all. This one is all perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect love, Perfect abundance. Perfect life, perfect love, perfect abundance. Oh, I mess up something every time I do this. But that's okay because to err is human. So now we'll do the group song. So everybody stand up if you're able to. And if you don't have a copy, raise your hand and we'll see that you got one.
Group song today is Put a Little Love in Your Heart. And anywhere else you choose to put it, either. Okay, so hopefully everybody got a song sheet. And raise your hand if you did not. This is an old Jackie DeShannon song. Think of your fellow man, let them not help in hand. Put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Verse 2. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. We want the world to know we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. How many times should we repeat it? Put a little love in your heart. One more time. Put a little love in your heart.
All right. Thank you all, you wonderful singers out there. And now it's time for our inspirational reading. So I'd like to invite Jan up here.
The following words are by Maya Angelou, who was with us from 1928 until 2014, an American writer, poet, and civil rights activist. I'm grateful for being here, for being able to think, for being able to see, for being able to taste, for appreciating love, for knowing that it lives in a world so rife with vulgarity, with brutality and violence, and yet love exists. I'm grateful to know that it exists. I am grateful to have loved and to be loved now and to be able to love, because that liberates. Love liberates. It doesn't just hold, that's ego. Love liberates. It doesn't bind. We, unaccustomed to courage, exiles from delight, live coiled in shells of loneliness until love leaves its high holy temple and comes into our sight to liberate us into life. Love arrives, and in its train come ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet, if we are bold, life strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. We are weaned from our timidity and the flush of love's light. We dare to be brave, and suddenly we see that love costs all we are and will ever be. Yet it is only love which sets us free. Thank you.
it away, Jen.
Nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. Nothing you can say that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. There's nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Everybody sing it with me. All you need is love. All together now. All you need is love. Everybody now. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. One more time. All you need is love. All together now. All you need is love. Everybody now. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need.
One of my favorite songs of all time. So now it's my distinct honor and pleasure and privilege to invite today's speaker up, Reverend Maurene Bishop.
All right. Thank you, brother. She loves you, yeah. Oh, great. Well, good morning.
Morning.
I'm Reverend Maurene, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. And it's great to see your smiles. Beautiful morning. Did you leave the gate open so your inner child could get out today and enjoy? I hope so. We're celebrating Valentine's Day and likely have some of the candy you saw as a child. I like the little pieces that have the messages on them. So today, excuse me, I'm talking about what our founder, Ernest Holmes, called the central flame of the universe, which is love and loving each other. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the law of circulation, how that plays in with law, grief being a stoppage of that circulation of love, and compassion, getting it started again. So Ernest Holmes taught two great aspects of life. He taught love and law, presence and power. And the week before, I spoke about creative mind, the power. So today I'm going to pivot and talk about the love aspect of God. Did you know Valentine's Day was a romantic holiday during the high Middle Ages, and because it really introduced courtly love. But in 1913, Hallmark Cards of Kansas City, Missouri began mass producing Valentines, and it's not been the same since. So our founder just said, love is the central flame of the universe, named the very fire itself. It is with that which is. It can't be explained. Words cannot explain its depths. That's why we talk about love in poetry and songs, because it's hard to understand, especially with the left brain. So we have to get into our right brain. Usually I give a few jokes. Well, today I'm going to give a few quotes, because I think poetry quotes are more appropriate for Valentine's Day. And this one comes from an engineer, of course. His name is Franklin Jones, and he said, "Love doesn't make the world go round. Love is what makes the ride worthwhile." And this is from Dr. Seuss. We all know Dr. Seuss. You know what? You're in love when you can't fall asleep, because reality is finally better than your dreams.
That's cute.
And Oscar Wilde, who's one of my favorite playwrights in English, Oscar Wilde, he said, "To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance." And you know this one from Elton John. "I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world." And finally, Shakespeare. "Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this light. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun." Now there's love, great love. So you remember what the great Rabbi Yeshua ben Joseph, also known as Jesus, the great master teacher, said? He said, "Love one another." Life exists because God has an irresistible urge to express itself, and you're the result. You're the expression of a loving God, and you're also one with that which creates. See, God in amazing disguise, each of you. I was licensed as a minister of religious science by the Emerson Theological Institute back in 2015, and I later took courses and affiliated with Center for Spiritual Living. But during my first oral panel with Emerson, the senior minister there in the panel said, "What is love?" And I just immediately said, "God is love. Love is God." But then, thinking they wanted more, I went on and on about what Emerson said, what Ernest Holmes said, what Judge Troward said, and finally he goes, "You had me at love is God." It's like, okay. It's simple as that. God is love. Love is God. And Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, he said, "Although I may try to write about love, I am rendered helpless. My pen breaks and the paper slips away at the inevitable place where lover, loving, and loved are one." Thank you for the lyrics of the Beatles. All you need is love. The gift of love is that it brings us into unity with each other and with God and within ourselves. To love God is to love yourself in order to remove sin. And sin is this archery definition, which means you miss the mark. That's all that means. There's nothing wrong with your soul. It just means you miss the mark. Well, disease, death, poverty, injustice, all of these things we might label as bad or evil. Well, we must remove this illusion of duality and know we're one. We are one. There's only us. There's not us and them. There's only us. We're all us. All one. You know, our genetics are both fully human and fully divine. Our task in life is to question everything, to seek the truth, to fully live in both dimensions as spirit and physical form, the human and the divine. In order for us to know our full divinity, we must be fully human. We must love. Each person on the planet is a beloved child of God, and we're one with each other. There's never been any separation and never can be. So every one of us is a potential master in the art of loving, because love is who we are. We're love in action. Do you ever see those Marvel action figures and want to be one of them? Well, I believe we've got a new group here, and I call it Love in Action. That's your Marvel action figure. You are love in action, because the ultimate force in life is universal love working through creative law. We're never so powerful and so open a channel of spiritual life as when we love. So we know this is so because we understand the truth of oneness. God qualities are your qualities. Remember, all the qualities of the sea are contained in a cup of ocean water. We're no more separate from God than the wave is separate from the ocean. God is all. There's nothing outside of God. So in some religious beliefs, the goal is to become one with God. I know in Hinduism, I was taught the goal was to become one. And our objective is not to become one, it's to realize we already are. That's the secret. We already are. The perfect pattern within us is perfection. We're already perfect, we're healed, we're whole, we're healthy, we're lovable, we're worthy. So, what can separate us from the love of God? Nothing, actually. Nothing separates us from Source, not even some unintelligent beliefs about right and wrong and limitation. God is still offering all of itself. Love continues to flow. So all you need to do is say, yes, yes, I accept love. Thank you. You know, there's one life, but God made it multi-dimensional. Many expressions of the one, so that we may know the pleasure and privilege of caring for each other. And as a mother and a wife, I believe that we're all charged with the care of one another. I heard a psychologist on the news talking about the process of recovery from the wildfires. And he said, you know, people who've lost so much will suffer a depression. And he was talking about the mental, emotional recovery. And he said, however, one key thing that individuals could do is to help each other. And I think we've been seeing that. We've seen people helping restore lives and the well-being of those around you. By our love, we restore the love of others. Yeah, and I don't know who said this, but there's a saying that sometimes people's flame, their light goes out, you know. And we need to lend a hand to relight the light within. So give and be open to receive. This is what we've been entrusted with, and the world has presented us with great opportunities, especially right now, several places we could give. So begin with your heart. Set your heart right. Take lessons from others who've been through great challenges. You know, it's not a time to criticize. First and foremost, Go inside. Know the inner calm, establish inner peace, restore your own heart. Then you can turn to healing others. You know, both abroad as well as here in our country, we have recognized the effects of reactive thinking by people who've been driven by anger and rage and hate and hunger for revenge. You know, for millennia, history has proven that violence begotten by anger only continues to perpetuate more of the same. You know, years ago I visited the Holy Lands and I was struck by the animosity between the people living in the Holy Lands. I went with a group from Unity Church, and I thought, after all these centuries, they haven't worked it out. You know, and Gandhi said, an eye for an eye, and soon the whole world will be blind. So it's easy to get sucked into and stay stuck in the energy of fear, especially when you're watching too much TV. So this fear is the invisible glue that holds all of the hate and the anger and the violence in place, because the vibration of fear is so close to the surface of our collective. It can be contagious, or I should say it's infectious. Fear is a disease. We have the word dis-ease. That means you're not at ease. You're not at ease with yourself or the love within. You have forgotten you're one with God. You know, St. Thomas Aquinas, he was a Dominican friar from Sicily, and he said, how can we live in harmony? He said, first, we need to know we are all madly in love with the same God. Now more than ever, our world needs conscious individuals who are willing to help to hold the high watch. Now, high watch means taking the higher watch. It's basically seeing God in everything. And I often say, okay, in a trying situation, you don't know what to do, you can say, well, okay, what would Jesus do? What would Yogananda do? What would Buddha do? What did Lao Tzu do? They would come from the high watch. They would come from a higher level, a higher energy, and they would always respond with love. So this week I received a card. Some of you may know who Sarah Jacobs is. She is a representative, congressional representative from District 51, which is in San Diego. And she sent a single quote from the Bible, and it was from the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14. And it just says, perhaps you were born for a time such as this. Thank you, Sarah, for reminding me. Yes, this is your time to step up. Know the truth of who you are, a spiritual being with amazing power and loved by the Creator. And in this politically and sometimes religiously dogmatic, charged times, it requires courage and a willingness to take a proactive stand for something positive, something life-affirming, rather than against something negative. Don't be against something, be for something good. We know love is a higher vibration than fear. So remember, love is the answer to any and every question. So take a stand for love. And I was just amazed at what Jim said last week because he took his car in and the battery was broken and it was like 2 weeks out of warranty. You didn't sit there and badmouth and you didn't argue with these people. You sat quietly and politely in the waiting area, and you just happened to talk to one of the ladies there who knew something about warranty. And after the car was fixed, she came back and she said, it's been comped. $500 worth of battery was comped. And I bet you were sitting there saying a little prayer.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Of course.
I'm a gratitude guy.
You're the gratitude guru. So, you know, we each have this storehouse of tenderness and compassion and love within us. And as we express it, we find that it's quite capable of transcending and living in above the commonplace things of life. So rise up, rise up. You know, I was thinking about news. I was thinking about this little boy that gave part of his bone, like bone marrow, to a little girl that he didn't know. And I was thinking about all the people that donate kidneys. You don't know these people. You just donate a kidney. And I have a friend, her name is Renata, you know her. And over the years, she has fostered difficult children that had health issues. And she's been able to foster them, children that were born with fetal alcohol syndrome, children that were born addicted. And she has a little boy right now, so cute. I saw him last week. And this little boy was born from a mother living on the street in San Diego. And she's never seen the mother, and the mother has not called on the baby. But it's the cutest little guy. And she gives always as a foster parent, and a lot of her children have grown up. She's been doing this for 25 years, and the children come and see her. She is like grandma. It's wonderful. So instead of awfulizing that your fear is going to manifest, you know, oh wow, I saw it on the TV, I saw it on the internet, it's going to happen to me. No. Ask yourself, what will my love manifest? Love is stronger than fear. And if we feel there's something missing in our life, it might be us. Look in the mirror. Are we unwilling to give love or to be loving? You know, love is not consuming, just like Jan said. You know, love is healing. Think on the good. Create more of it. We know this from metaphysics. Whatever you put your mind on, you create more of. So move your mind off the fear and put it on the good. So why not let love be your lifestyle? Make a living sometimes takes up so much of our energy and our time and our attention. We forget that element of our life that could make the workplace, the grocery store, the bank, the car repair, a nurturing environment. All we have to do is say yes to love and bring love with us in every situation. So have any of you tried to pay it forward? You know what that is, paying it forward. Well, when was this? Like a month ago. I drove up to Starbucks and I'm waiting in my car. And I get up to check out. And the lady says, oh, the car ahead of you, which is long gone, paid for your drink. Oh, wow. You know, it was like, wow, what a surprise. And I was so excited, you know, what a gift. You know, I was high on love all day. Well, I still am. But it was such a great surprise. And last Sunday, before I came here, we stopped at Albertsons, and I was standing in line, and the fellow in front of me was looking through his backpack and dumping everything out, and he didn't have the money to pay for his bill. So I just, hey, allow me. It was $4.99, and it was like, oh, thank you for giving me an opportunity to give. It's like, yes, yes. And what fun. You know, this is the law of circulation. We give love, and we receive love, and we keep it going, you know. In a way, love does make the world go round because we keep it going. We're the little centers of love. We're the little action figures. We're in the flow. So last year, 2024, it was a time of personal loss for me, and I mentioned this before. My only niece died the week before Christmas. She had cancer. And my dog of 16 years, my baby, you know, both felt, well, it still feels like a hole in my heart. And I feel that grief is a form of love that's been blocked. I have to figure out how to allow it to flow again. And, you know, the death of friends and loved pets, it takes a bite out of us. It's painful. But knowing that love heals, we can still honor our loved ones and start loving in other ways. You know, metaphysically, I think grief causes the heart to crack, to break. But Rumi, the poet, the Sufi poet, said the cracks are where the light comes in. Keep breaking your heart so it opens up. So, with grief, circulation has stopped, but love is still there, looking for an outlet, looking for a way to express itself. So this week, I started a class online with CSU on chaplaincy, because Robert and I used to work for Elizabeth Hospice, and chaplaincy work is working with people, basically palliative care, supportive care. And I thought, you know, Tanya would have said, good going, Aunt Maurene. You know, a way to help others who have gone through chemotherapy. And, you know, caregivers are crucial to survival. So I have a new flow for love. A flow of love lessens the grief. You know, love is an essence. It's kind of like, it's hard to explain, you know. But it's kind of, I think of it as a silver thread that is woven into the fabric of everything and everybody. And, you know, we will never feel at one with God until love becomes a dynamic part of our life. So I have a little story here. It's called Compassion of the Sun. You may have heard this before, but I wanted to show you the compassion, because I think you have to feel love, you have to feel grief, you have to feel compassion. It's hard for me to explain it. So this is a story of compassion. A nurse took the tired, anxious serviceman to the bedside. She said to the old man, "Your son's here." She had to repeat it several times before the patient's eyes opened. Heavily sedated because of the pain of his heart attack, he dimly saw the young Maurene standing outside the oxygen tent. He reached out his hand. The Maurene wrapped his toughened fingers around the old man's limp ones, squeezing a message of love and encouragement. The nurse brought a chair so the Maurene could sit beside the bed. All through the night, the young Maurene sat there in the poorly lighted ward, holding the old man's hand and offering him words of love and strength. Occasionally, the nurse suggested that the Maurene move away and rest a while, but he refused. Whenever the nurse came into the ward, the Maurene was oblivious to her and of the night noises of the hospital. The clanking of an oxygen tank, the laughter of the night staff exchanging greetings, the cries and moans of other patients. Now and then she heard him say a few gentle words. The dying man said nothing, only held tightly to his son all through the night. Along towards dawn, the old man died. the Marine released the now lifeless hand he had been holding, and he went to tell the nurse. While she did what she had to do, he waited. Finally, she returned. She started to offer words of sympathy, but the Marine interrupted her. "Who was the man?" he said. The nurse was startled. What? He was your father? No? No, he wasn't, the Marine replied. I never saw him before in my life. Well, why didn't you say something when I took you to him? The Marine said, I knew right away there had been a mistake, but I also knew he needed a son, and his son wasn't here. When I realized that he was too sick to tell the difference, whether or not I was his son, knowing how much he needed me, I stayed. Now that's compassion. That's another word for love. So, you are the very life of spirit, and you embody all the love of the universe right here. So love God by loving yourself and loving everybody else. Love one another as I have loved you. So Dr. Maya Angelou also said, love is that condition in the healing spirit so profound that it allows us to forgive. Love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles. It leaps fences. It penetrates walls to arrive at its destination of hope. So remember, every act of kindness counts. Every act, however small or large, every smile you share can uplift a heart, and every kind word we say can brighten a day. Every prayer we utter can and does make a difference. Every act of kindness we share makes this world a better place. So go out there and be an action figure for love. And so it is.
So it is. I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet, share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams, but all your hopes are sinking. Let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Whisper love so loudly, every heart would understand that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. First step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything, if we keep believing in the power.
Well, this is our time for giving. So, I was just, excuse me, like to say thank you in advance. Thank you in advance for helping support this fellowship. And we have different ways of giving. If you like to do Venmo, which I do, or we have PayPal, we have credit card, we have cash, however you like. And I'd like you to read along. There's a saying in Opportunity for Giving. So if you'd like to stay with me. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, all that I give. I know this is so, it's how it is.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Thank you, Jennifer. So just join me in consciousness. Just know that there's only one. Omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. That means all powerful, everywhere present, and all knowing. And I choose to call it God. It's right here, right now. In, as, around, and through us, we are one with it. And I know for each and every one of you that God in me is unified with God in all. This one is now drawing into my life all love and fellowship. I am one with all people, with all things, with all life. I listen for the voice of humanity, and it allows the love that I hold out to it. Love heals all. My nation is healed and whole through love. And the great love that I feel for my country and for the world is the love of God, and is felt by all, and it comes back to me from all. I understand all people, and this understanding is reflected back to me. I give friendship, therefore I have friends. I'm a good listener. I am compassionate. I help, therefore I am helped. I uplift, therefore I am uplifted. I am surrounded by love and friendship and companionship and perfect health, success, peace, and calm, because I am one with love. So I give gratitude. I give gratitude. I release my word. I know it is acted upon as spoken. I release and I let go, knowing it is so. Together we say, and so it is. So we're going to stand for the final song, and I'd love to have John come up and do some signing. Would you love to come up?
Open your heart, let your love go free, out over the ocean, right across the street.
off class in about 20 minutes.